Hello and welcome to Sitting Down with Schneider. It is May the 21st, and today we are going to be sitting down with Liberty High School senior Emily Abono. Let's bring in Emily. Hey Emily, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Your camera's moving around quite a bit.
It is?
Yeah, is it being held by someone?
Yeah. Here, it's on my phone. Abby, I'm doing an interview. So why are you screaming at me? I didn't
Yeah, right
scream.
there. That's perfect. If it's not, oh, now it's moving again. If you could just be stationary, like if you put it down on something, is it on
Yeah, let
something?
me do that. 1 second. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you dizzy.
No, I just think over time it'd be a lot of movement.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, look at that. That
There
is
we
great.
go.
You got that cool little
That's
background. There
it.
you go. It's perfect.
Yeah,
So, hey, before we continue chatting, are you okay with me recording this and putting it on my YouTube channel?
for sure. That sounds awesome.
Awesome. So, Emily, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you're involved in, little activities you like to take part in.
All
Um,
right.
Introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay, hi, I'm Emily Abono. I am a senior graduating for 2020. I went to Liberty High School. Go Lions. um, During my 4 years at Liberty, I did tennis. So I was started off as a freshman, and then I was last on the team. And then my senior year, I was number one on the team, which was awesome. I had so much fun doing that. I did a play with the drama program at Liberty my freshman year. I did Mary Poppins. I was in Lions Crew 3 years and was involved in choir all 4 years at Liberty, which was a blast. I really, really enjoyed that. So I had a good high school experience. It ended a little shorter than I thought, but I'm so grateful for all the good memories, and it was awesome. So yeah.
It's awesome to hear that you're still feeling grateful and positive even in the midst of the pandemic and everything.
It's a
Um,
little crazy, but you know, what you
did
gonna
you
do?
get to still play tennis for your senior year? Did when was the tennis season?
Tennis was fall, so I thankfully got to finish that and stuff because I know a lot of people's like sports were cut short, but mine I got to finish, and like I got senior night and I got all that, so that was really cool. Got to
Yeah,
finish my years with my girls, which was awesome because a lot of the people I did tennis with I've done for 4 years, so it was really cool.
absolutely something to be grateful for. It's cool.
Yeah.
So how are you holding up during all this shelter in place?
It's a little crazy, not gonna lie, just not knowing. But then again, you just kind of have to take each day by day and be grateful that everyone around you is healthy and happy to to as much as they can be. I just got a job, so I'm an essential worker right now because I lost my other job because of the virus. So I'm working at Rayleigh's in Oakley. So I'm
Oh,
doing the carts and the bagging and all that, which is an experience. It's cool though. It's cool.
so does that make you nervous at all going on into work, or are you feeling like it's pretty safe?
I feel like it's pretty safe. The only like issues I really have with it are people are really mean right now. Like people are a little bit on edge, which is totally understandable. But like we get a lot of people that are just like upset at the world, and they come to the grocery store expecting everything to be like washed down to their standards, and it's a public place, so we have to politely explain to them that there are germs that exist even though we may wipe it down a million times. So that's been interesting. That's been something I've noticed, but I'm not necessarily nervous. I just have to take like the precautionary measures that I think are like that I think are necessary for myself and just be respectful of other people. But I definitely know that, especially for more people that are high risk, that it's way more of a concern for them. I have to be really careful with my grandparents who are really
Right.
important to me. So that's I think one of the toughest things is I'm not allowed to hug my grandma right now, and like
Oh
even though I
man.
want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think that
definitely.
a lot of people are having the one of the main problems is the mask, right? Like the
Yeah.
asking them to wear the mask. I know that I've heard of some instances where some people will like he'll have the mask on and then they'll actually go in the store and like they'll go by security or whatever you want to call that, right? And it's like, and then
Yeah.
like you said, you'll be politely ask them to put the mask back on, and it's just a lot of people seem to have a lot of issues with
Issues.
that.
Yeah, I personally get in trouble if like because I'll be door monitor at Rayleigh's. I'll get in trouble if somebody goes in without a mask, but sometimes they'll go in with the mask and then they'll take it off. And so like there's a lot of people, it's been enforced for a while. It's known, it's not like, oh, some stores are doing it, some are not. Every store is doing it nowadays.
Yeah.
And so some people are a little bit more difficult than would be expected when everybody's dealing with the same thing. But then again, like you have to be like professional about it, especially when you're in a workplace like that. When
Yeah.
even when adults that are twice, three times my age are not, you
Right.
have
Right.
to just be like, okay, I'm sorry
Take
that
a
this is
breath.
something we all have to do. This sucks. I have to wear this mask 8 hours. You just have to wear it one while you're shopping, but let's stay composed.
Oh my goodness. Now you
Some
said you
people
had
are not.
another job before that that you're not working at now. Is that something that they didn't need you at this point?
Yeah, so I worked at a small business. I was a hostess. So they're
Mm.
only doing to goes, as is every small business, which is everyone's taking their own personal hit, whether it be like with their business or any like their work being shut down. But where I was working at a little sushi restaurant. I was just a
Hmm.
hostess. I would bring people to their tables, like clean whatever they needed me to do. But yeah, so I was like, oh, that. And then like I wasn't going to apply for unemployment, but my dad was like, just do it. You might get some money.
Oh
And so
geez.
I did that. And even though I was like, there's so many other people that need this more than me, he was like, no, go try to claim your money. I was like, okay, I will look, I'll see. But the site was actually shut down because 40 something million people were trying to get on it at once. It was
Wow.
crazy. So
Wow.
I was like, I wasn't stressing because I don't need it. Like I live with my parents still, but like they
Right.
just sent me a debit card with some money on it, which was really cool. I wasn't expecting it to happen so soon. Like, so that's something for the time that I didn't have a job, which I'll put towards college or whatever other expenses I'm going to need when everything's over. But right now, I'm not really
Right.
spending too much money, as you can expect.
Right. Right. Wow. It's just your drive to want to stay employed and making money and building up. Are you saving up for anything in particular? Or is it more to go towards college and stuff?
Yeah, I definitely. So I'm doing LMC because I'm just gonna finish off my sophomore year. I'm gonna be going in as a college sophomore. Me and my mom. So me
Oh.
and my mom looked because I've been taking LMC classes and AP classes along with the other things I've had going on. So there's 60 units you have to get to have an AA, and I have 36 before my AP English class. So I should be more than halfway done, which I'm so excited about because I'm saving my mom and myself a lot of money, which makes me happy because I know that's going to take some stress off of her. And then I hope to transfer to a 4-year when I know kind of more what I want to do. But yeah, so I've been doing that. And I just actually yesterday finished my LMC classes, which I'm very, very excited about because I can just move on to next semester. Like,
So if I'm hearing that right, you're saying that you've got a complete, like your freshman year is your college freshman year as far as like credits and things like that is done. Is that what you're saying? Because of the LMC. So you're going
yeah,
into your sophomore year?
yeah. So I should,
Wow.
yeah. I just finished that.
That's amazing. That sounds like it would be an awful lot of extra work while you're in high school. I mean, were you doing
It
them
was
just taking them at night or doing it online? How did that work?
so Liberty, love Liberty, but the whole process for it, they kind of make it difficult for concurrent enrollment students. My mom working at the high school was able to work some things out with me and some other students too, who were just thinking like a lot, especially senior year, a lot of the classes, even if you have good teachers, like aren't as challenging as some may want them to be. I know I talked to a lot of my friends who were like, well, this is basically a waste of our time. We have two unscheduled. There's so much time like in between things, or like is like however you prioritize, there's so much time to be had. And like if you talk to your administrators and stuff, like most of the time they will, I know teachers like Miss McDonald, they encourage you to be a concurrent enrollment student even if you can't get off time during the regular school day. So I was doing classes after the 3:00 schedule for Liberty, as well as classes before, because my situation, my mom made it where like me and my friend Sydney Nelson, you know her, right?
I know Sydney.
Sid.
Yeah.
So we both, after lunch at Liberty, would leave and go to our classes for LMC. And then we would take our classes there instead of going to Liberty, because I had already gotten all the necessary credits at Liberty. So it was like, well, why am I taking extra here when I already have what I need for my diploma, when I could be using it towards so much more? And like, sadly, they don't really advertise doing that because they want people to stay, like, and like stay.
Well, maybe anyone who watches this will have some knowledge imparted upon them if they want to do that.
Yeah, I hope, especially after all this, where education is like, people are really realizing how much they take it for granted, and like the ability to go into classes. I hope they make that a little bit easier for people to do, because I know even for me, where my mom had access to speaking to, because a lot of her friends work obviously at Liberty, but they make it pretty difficult. Like I know when I figured this out when I was turning in my local scholarships, I had technically, so since I was taking classes during the school day at Liberty, I had like 60 truancies, when in reality, like, yeah, so me and Sydney were looking at it, we're like, well, we're not getting any scholarships with this. And so we had to explain to them like
such a rebel, such a truant rebel.
Oh, I know. I'm always ditching. School's not for me at all. But no, it wasn't a problem or anything, but just the official appearance of my classes and everything looks like I'm not taking any classes this year, but in reality, I'm taking almost a full schedule of college units. Like I'm taking 11, so full-time college student is 12. I'm taking 11 units. So even though it looks like, according to my transcript for Liberty, it looks like I'm not doing much, I was doing that this year, which I liked a lot better, because I just, college, it's more on you. It's more on you to get your stuff done, and that's always kind of how I've rolled. Like, there's a few classes I love, especially my AP classes at Liberty, I had just so much fun with, because it's about the curriculum, and you are actually taking away things from it. It's not just to get the credit, to get the grade and move on. It's like you're learning something, you're going to get something out of it, and that's how college is. So I really like that.
Excellent. That's something that since I'm glad that you liked it, because now you like it enough, then as you move into the future in college, you'll be like, I'm going to continue with this kind of course of study, and knowing that you enjoy it makes it a lot easier when you enjoy something, right?
Yeah.
Have you picked up any new hobbies while you've been in shelter in place at all? I know, like Patrick, you saw Patrick made a little cameo. He didn't know I was doing the interview, and here he popped in. You may not have even seen him. He popped his head in.
I didn't even see him.
He started playing guitar. I know people have been doing some baking, things like that. Have you picked up on anything new?
So I'm actually doing garden right now.
Nice.
I just planted seeds. I'm looking at them right now.
Nice.
They're sprouting. So I hope that I can like grow some vegetables. That would be cool. But I was just watching Criminal Minds.
Okay.
Because That's a show I like. Netflix. Netflix is my friend lately when I
Oh,
don't have
Netflix is
work.
the best.
I
Isn't
don't know
it
what we do
weirdly,
without Netflix.
I know, right? It's like, how do we ever survive without that? It's weirdly exciting when you plant those seeds and those little sprouts come out. All they are those little teeny sprouts. You're like, oh my God, here they come, right? It's
I
just so
know.
exciting.
I am so excited. I didn't even do anything, just plopped them in the ground, and I just get to see life growing. It's great.
It's
I'm so
magic.
excited to see. No, it's cool.
What's that?
I said it when they grow, it's gonna be cool to see
Yeah,
if
you
like
said
I
it's
can.
vegetables.
Yeah, so I'm doing vegetables and flowers. My mom has a black thumb. She would tell you herself. I'm not saying anything bad about her. She can't grow plants, but she's like, if you want to try, I was like, okay, I'll try for both of
Maybe
us.
you didn't get that genetic, that
Hopefully not. Let's see if I can keep them alive.
So when this is all said and done, is what's going to be the first couple things that you want to do when you finally get to go out and this whole thing lifts a bit?
Leave Brentwood.
Yeah.
Definitely leave Brentwood. Yeah.
So you're
I
gonna head
want
over
to.
to, you're just gonna chill out in Oakley for a bit.
No, I'm in Oakley every day. So leave Oakley and Brentwood because that's where Rayleigh's is. So I don't know, maybe like go on a road trip or something, or like
Sure.
something cool. Because I know a lot of seniors are like upset because obviously we're missing out on a lot of rites of passage, and I I think for me, I've pretty much been over high school like a little bit longer than a lot of us have, because I have been taking college classes for as long as I have. Like I've pretty much accepted it, and like whereas a lot of people are like our dance, our just grad night, our graduation, it's all canceled, and it's really upsetting, yes, but like I think what I've kind of been thinking is like, well, yes, that's everybody else's like past expectations that they're going to be able to go, like experience that, but like we kind of have to adapt a new kind of perspective on it. It's like reality is people are dying, there's a lot of tragedy going on around us, like that's even though it's kind of underwhelming and kind of sad, that's our reality right now, and we have to focus on that and doing what we have to do to just accept that and embrace it and do whatever we have to do to stay positive. And yes, even though it's upsetting we can't do those things, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be over one day, and we can make all kinds of new memories, maybe in a different setting. Maybe it's not exactly graduation or exactly the dance, but it's going to look up from after all this. We can carry on with our lives, hopefully, when it's all over, and kind of focus on moving on. And so that's my opinion, just
Right.
because they're trying to make graduation, they're trying to make end of the year stuff happen still. And for me, it's like, I think we need to move on past this, because we should be focusing on now and what we have to do to progress with our current situation, not with hypotheticals like if we could still do this or still make this happen, because there's so
Yeah.
much other things and like essentially tragedy happening that like we have. Even though it does suck, we got to kind of focus on that and remember a lot of people are dealing with a lot worse than missing ball or missing graduation.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know,
I
that's
think
just
what
me.
No, and thank you for being so open and honest with that. I think what administration is trying to do is keep it. They're not necessarily saying it's going to happen, but instead of just saying, boom, it's canceled. If
Yeah.
there is that small window to make something happen, it's nice to kind of keep that opportunity open if it's
Yeah,
there. But,
definitely.
no promises are made and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, where you're coming from, um, be ready for it not to happen. And if it doesn't, we just need to move on. So I think
Yeah,
that's a really good attitude towards it. Yeah.
because
I mean,
if
I'm doing the
we,
same thing with on a smaller scale, much smaller scale. I've told the kids with Willy Wonka that I want to do it at the beginning of the school year. Well, are we even going to be in class at the beginning of the school year? You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so that little bit of hope, and eventually you do have to just kind of say, all right, time to move on. So
yeah,
really good
yeah,
attitude though. It's a really good, I feel like it's a a solid attitude. It's not like if they had graduation or had a prom opportunity, you wouldn't, you'd be a part of
Yeah,
it still,
for
but it's
sure.
like you're not putting all your, hope into that.
It comes down to it comes down also to the timing and what's past us already. Like, even if we get the opportunity in a couple months to make this happen, a lot of people's parts of people's lives are not going to be able to pause to go back in time, if that makes
Yeah,
any sense.
makes
Like,
sense.
while everything's paused, stuff is still going. Like, for example, I'd like to not have to work and not have to save for college, but college is still impending and like probably happening in the future, whether it's online or not. And I have to go in and work and save money for that. Like, that can't be paused. Like, while certain things are pausing and being placed on hold, there's a lot of other things that we have to keep up with just for societal like comfort and like just to keep things going and keep people like, because obviously we need grocery stores. We can't
Right.
survive without that.
Right.
There's certain things that there's really no going around. And yeah. So
Right. Totally get that. So you mentioned scholarship night earlier in the chat, and or local scholarships. You didn't mention scholarship night, but you mentioned local scholarship. So
yeah.
I before we wrap this up, I'd like to say good luck. I hope you get
Thank
some
you.
scholarships this evening at 5 o'clock. We get to watch, right? That's
Yep.
the link will be available. Emily, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat about all this stuff. It's definitely a different take with getting all those college courses done and things like that. And I found it very fascinating what you did with your senior year, and to be able to now move on into JC in the sophomore as a sophomore. It's pretty dang impressive, kiddo.
Thank
I
you
just
so
realized
much.
something. I just realized something else. I think this was, remember BDTC as our last show was Guys and
Yes.
Dolls, right? And I didn't even know it. And then look,
You're wearing the shirt. Oh my
I
gosh.
think it was maybe it's just like cosmic. That's so weird. I had no idea
That's so
until I just
crazy.
thought to myself, wait a minute. Yeah, Emily was in that one as her last BDT show.
That was
BDT.
so great.
That
Oh,
was
I
so
missed
fun.
that.
So fun.
It was good times. So thankful for those times too. Like, honestly, such an amazing way to experience middle school. Like, I know a lot of people's middle school experiences are less than stellar, but because of like the drama program and the friends I met through that, and you and just advisory, so fun.
So fun.
So fun. Anyways, but like, it was just such a good experience. So thank you for that. Just
That's
being
nice to
an
hear
awesome
too. It's
teacher.
nice to hear that, because not everyone, like you said, not everyone looks back on their middle school and says, "Oh, it was great." So I'm glad that you can look
I
back
know.
on that.
It's either or. It's either you find your niche and you have that support system and friend group or activity, or it's not so good. And so I'm really happy to be able to say Edna Hill was awesome. I loved it.
It's cool to hear. All right, kiddo. Well, let's sign off. And
Okay.
I appreciate you finding a nice spot for that phone. It's been super steady the whole time. I don't think anyone's going to get sick at all. So
there we go. I didn't even think about how you're going to be recording it. So I was like, holding it.
Well, and I'm trying something new too.
So
I've been recording from downstairs and I have these bricks behind me, but I moved it so I could be in a little bit more of an isolated spot. So you're the very first sitting down with Schneider from the new location.
What? Is that going to be the name of your YouTube video? Sitting Down with Schneider.
Sitting down. Well, it is Sitting Down with Schneider. That's where you go on
2020
YouTube.
edition.
No, well, if you haven't seen any of the others, there's a bunch more of your senior buddies that have some.
I haven't looked.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you got to go take a look at that.
Okay.
All right, kiddo.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Have a good one.
Thanks for sitting down with me, and say hi to the fam, okay?
Okay, same with you. Hope everyone's good and safe. Okay, you have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.